welcome to We Just Watched Linny Forest of Hatred and they're going to read a creepypasta to wash the nightmarish images out of our heads.
And the good taste.
Merry fucking Christmas. This is the Christmas Krampus. Has been suggested by a bunch of people that I'm too lazy to remember their names.
That's us, lazy as hell.
Yeah, give us free money. Every year around the Christmas holiday, magical things always seem to happen. I don't know if that's true.
Like the Coca-Cola ad and capitalism.
And death.
Capitalism is pretty fucking great. Some things are marvellous and joyful, like visits from Santa or a snowman coming alive.
It's pretty creepy. If I saw a snowman come to life in my fucking backyard, I'd be running.
Plus, I'm not a fan of Santa since we read that last Christmas story and we found out how he gets
He's just a homeless guy who comes to the house. Or Jack Skellington.
Many people say they can feel the Christmas magic in the air around them. I don't know if that's Christmas magic or mulled cider. Some things aren't so joyful, ...
Like the suicide rate.
Around Christmas every year, kidnappings, murders, and suicide rates go up drastically as well. I like that Toby just cheered for that.
Yeah!
Hey, suicide
We
rate!
have too many people in this fucking world.
Sorry.
Even when horrid things like this happen, people often feel, yet rarely do they admit, that they still feel a kind of holiday magic behind it.
What?
I'm going to be with Jesus!
And then a wonderful way to end this sentence. Although be it a dark magic, not English. One example comes from a Christmas demon.
Comes out with fucking hell.
When I think of the celebration of the birth of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ, I think of demons. The demons that it created and influenced.
Yes.
A Christmas demon known as the Krampus. It's one of the Cramp twins. The Krampus is I just made you fucking remember the Cramp twins, didn't I? What hideous animation. The Krampus is well known in countries like...
Motherfucker, I just remember the Cramp twins, you piece of shit.
like Germany and Switzerland for taking naughty children in the dead of Christmas Eve night. Here is one such account. December 6th, 2013. My name is Eli Roth. Excuse me, my name is Eli Rockford.
So it's Eli Roth.
I am currently 7 years old as I write this. Which
Actually,
that was the author's note on Hostel. Actually, I'm 7. I'm currently 7 years old as I write this garbage.
I got this thing called cabin fever in the works.
God, shit.
I confide in this journal. Okay, I am 7 years old. I confide in this journal something I can't tell my family because they would never believe it. It's just the same little kid from the beginning of Jeff the Killer. He's like, I heard a noise in the middle of the night. It was 2 ominous eyes. I'm like, fucking. Have these people met a 7-year-old? Can we stop and just wait till Logan comes home from school? Just have him read the story. And then I just start writing about, I play Breath of the Wild and the divine beasts are big. It's like, because he's fucking 7! Logan, since you're home from school, come here a moment.
Come here.
Young man.
What's happening?
We're getting big hat
We're
Logan.
making a point. Right. Hello, Logan. How was your day?
It was good.
Can you come here? Watch the wires, obviously. Could this sentence I've highlighted in blue, can you read it out loud for me?
My name is Eli Watford. I am currently 7 years old as I write this. I confide in this journal something I can't tell my family because they would never believe me.
What, mate?
Does that... Nice one, Logan. Does that sound like something you as a 7-year-old would say?
No.
No.
Here you go, Logan.
You have some chocolates.
Thank you.
I'm assuming you haven't started
Give me a
yet.
hug. No, we're recording.
Alright.
This bit is written. It's supposed to be a 7-year-old.
Oh.
We're going to wait for the 7-year-old to come in and ask his opinion over whether he would ever say something like that. Oh, okay. I am often told that I am very smart for my
Don't
age.
start that. Don't try and justify your completely coherent sentences just because you're smart.
Because
Stop.
I say and do things that most kids my age don't.
No.
Yeah, like I confide in this journal or something. But if I tell a strange story, no matter how hard I get them to believe me, my parents and siblings say it's just my imagination. So you don't get them to believe you then, do you?
No.
I know you're 7 and perhaps you can't articulate what you're trying to say, but author who's written the 7-year-old as someone who's 20, that expression, that No matter how hard I try to get them to believe me. Today I looked out my window into the street by our house and saw a man who looked like a shadow with horns. His eyes glowed orange, and seeing him scared me a lot. He was ringing a bunch of bells for something. See, that feels like something a 7-year-old would say.
Yeah.
He was outside, he was ringing a bunch of bells or something.
Okay.
And then it turns into Home Alone.
Just like, just about the Krampus, the leader of the wet bandits.
That's it.
But I just tried to ignore him and sleep. Then I heard a knock at the door. I went to see who it was for Mummy and Daddy, but when I got to the door, someone stuck a card through our mail slot and ran off really quickly. The card had a picture of a monster who had bull legs, a tail, and horns on a scary looking goat head that looked half human. I was so scared that it was the thing in the street. But I don't know what to do. I think I know what it is, but I hope I'm wrong. I showed the card to my dad. He said it was Krampus. The bottom of the card said, Gruß von Krampus.
Gruß von Krampus!
Daddy says every year Krampus punishes... I'm just still being German. Punishes. Krampus punishes bad boys and girls on Christmas, but Santa gives good boys and girls toys. So now I'm not so scared. I always get toys on Christmas, so I must be a good kid. I still didn't tell him about the thing on the street. December 24th, 2013. My parents will be gone for most of tonight, and Christmas morning tomorrow for some stupid work thing they both have.
God, so stupid.
It's
They're
called
having
a key-
to work and we're
Once
buying
again,
a roof
it's a
over
key
your
swapping
head.
party.
Yeah.
Like-
Fucking key swapping parties on Christmas Eve, yeah. Standard time for
It's like, Mummy, Daddy, why? It's like, why are you coming home with different people?
it.
Mum told
What?
Brad...
Mummy, why does Dad have assless chaps?
Mum told Brad, my oldest brother... Was that... I'm sorry, I felt there was like a rift in the timeline and I just heard tiny Toby's voice just speak out.
What?
Like little 6-year-old Toby's voice just speak out from right over here. I think he's... Yeah. What was it he said? That was it. Mum, why does Dad have assless chaps?
Fucking hell.
Mum told Brad, my oldest brother, that we would have a babysitter because she didn't trust him to watch all 5 of us by himself as a Catholic household. Mum often let Brad watch us, but we had broke a lot of things the last couple of times we were left alone. So Mummy said she would get Rebecca to watch us.
Rebecca Krampus.
Becky.
Rebecca came to the house at 5. Also, your name is Becky. Rebecca came to the house at 5. She was very pretty and Brad couldn't stop staring at her. Mummy and Daddy left a couple of minutes after Rebecca got here. This was the first time Rebecca had watched 6 kids at the same time before. And I don't think she knew what she was getting herself into. My youngest sister, Molly, who's 3, threw a tantrum after our parents left. Levi and Garrett, my younger twin brothers, who are both 5, started fighting. Brad talked with Rebecca most of the night, and Rachel spent most of the night in her room. Mum and Dad said we would still get Christmas gifts tomorrow, but we had to wait to open them until they got home. Slightly clumsy sentence. We made hot cocoa, but the cocoa maker is broke, so the hot chocolate burned our mouths.
What?
Cocoa machine broke. Understandable.
And we all got candy canes too. Rebecca started to put us to bed at 8 and finally succeeded at 9:30. Best babysitter, 10 out of 10. Even though she was clearly exhausted and frustrated with us, she told us she had fun and that she wouldn't have spent Christmas Eve any other way.
Okay.
So that's
nice.
blatant lies.
Yeah.
She was miserable as fucking.
And then Cobe got bored and handed the laptop to Toby.
And then Toby got bored and handed.
There's no one else who can read in this room.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
I can read.
No, you can't. Women aren't allowed to learn to read.
Matt, you moved from Saudi Arabia 4 years ago.
Jacob, why is your woman not covered up?
Damn it.
It's like,
I don't know if that's a Saudi Arabian accent, but I was just going for something nondescript and foreign sounding.
It's like, no, I'm just wearing all red today.
Basically, just in order to make Matt sound Saudi Arabian, we just needed a vague female voice in the background going, yay, and there you go.
You're just going to use that clip
Fucking
of Toby
hell.
against
And all we need is to like colour grade everything outrageously orange so it looks warmer than it is.
I awoke in the middle of the night at about 11 to see a crimson moon casting a dim red glow on the winter snow. That rhymed. I looked out my bedroom window and saw a red object coming towards our house. Fast. It was hard to make out, but it looked like a red sleigh being pulled by reindeer.
Sorry.
Stop going through Snapchat.
Sorry, it's just more interesting than this.
I instantly recognised this as Santa's sleigh and ran to hide on the stairs and waited for him to come down the chimney, anxiously. Out of the window, to the right of our fireplace, I saw a sleigh fly overhead and heard many hooves trotting on the roof.
Many who's.
Who's? I made sure to remain perfectly still.
There's heard many whom's to do. Just a bunch of guys with fedora shotguns and laser eyes just bouncing on the roof. Whom's to do?
Thought Patrol.
Yeah, just a thought patrol. They're there for Rebecca.
I made sure to remain perfectly still and silent as a mouse. I waited for what felt like an eternity, while soft footsteps echoed on the roof above me, getting closer to the chimney. As I heard scuffling and ash and dust started falling from the fireplace. Soon, 2 black boots landed. Then the rest of Jolly's old Saint Nick came through the fireplace with a big bag of toys on his back. Sorry, I spoiled that. Without speaking a word, he
Big
went
bag of
straight.
dicks.
Yeah, big bag of ducks. Without speaking a word, he went straight to our tree. He took the gifts from his bag and scattered them under our lit up plastic evergreen. Who calls it a plastic evergreen?
And he's meant to be 7.
Yeah. Then started on the milk and cookies we left for him. I felt that I had held my
No
breath the entire
sherry or
time.
pies for him.
No.
Another fucking disappointment.
I was hiding on the stairs.
Milk! Fucking milk!
Stairs spelled as in I'm staring at you. Then again, he is 7. Plastic evergreen. I couldn't believe I was spying on the real Santa Claus in my own home.
Not like all those fakes.
Wait, so what's amazing about this is the kids is really articulate and using mostly good language, although a few foibles which I think are not intentional. It's just the author. And is apparently people tell me I'm very smart for my age, but now he's like I'm spying on the real Santa, who I still believe in at 7.
Oh,
It's just like,
golly gee.
like, aren't you smarter than most 7-year-olds? Like, I'm not saying most 7-year-olds don't believe in Santa. What I am saying is if you're smarter than most 7-year-olds, you probably don't believe in Santa.
He watched Rick and Morty. His IQ must be high.
I didn't
We've been making that joke all day.
I didn't check to see if Logan is on the stairs. He's just sitting there, just like I open the door and I see him walk away as the Hulk piano music plays.
Eventually, he made his way over to our stockings and started pulling out various knickknacks and candies in our stockings, starting with money. When he got to Levi, he took out a small black rock and eyed it sadly before placing it in Levi's stocking. It took me a second to realise that he gave Levi coal. I tried to stifle a laugh to the best of my abilities, but a small squeak escaped my lips anyway. Santa turned around and scanned the room. Was he the fucking Terminator?
Yeah, I just got this idea of him just whipping around, pulling a gun out. The laser sight.
Sorry.
I'm assuming the parents are going to be out all Christmas. Them coming back like in the early hours of the morning, smashed if they've been to a party, and just be like, "This kid." So I saw the real Santa. Come here. No, it's not Santa. We made him up so you behave. It's the same as God. We just made him up so idiots would behave.
Dad? Yeah, yes, son. Who's that with you? It's Santa.
Just a homeless guy in a red hat. Like, this is Santa.
They come bursting in, they're drunk.
We go way back.
The Santa's still there, and they just invite him up for a threesome.
That's not John Stamos.
I remained as still as ever. He turned back to the stockings, this time keeping his back to me, and put a piece of coal into Garrett's stocking too. He put a candy cane in Brad's stocking along with a pocket knife.
Right.
What?
Like a weird sort of thing to Santa to give anyone.
Is this some sort of weird cultural American thing? Because they used to allow knives on planes and shit like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Rachel got a new phone and some Kit Kats. Bit of a scale there, isn't there?
Is it written like that?
Phone.
Rachel got a new phone.
Rachel got a new phone and some Kit Kats. Sorry, I was just ignoring.
Oh, so what did Santa get you? Well, I got a pocket knife. Like, what did Santa give you? A new iPhone. What the fuck, Mum? Wasn't us, it was Santa. Yes, fucking of course it was.
Finally, he moved to my...
This is why I have trust issues. And I've got a knife now. Give me the fucking phone.
That was unbelievably sinister.
For the benefit of the tape, Logan just sort of slid some papers.
So Logan, why did you
side
give
of
us
the door.
papers? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Dun dun dun
Oh my
dun dun
God.
dun.
Imagine if them papers just said you're dead to me. It's gone.
He's been listening to us think the whole thing about Santa being made up.
No, it's for term 3. It's for him to join athletics or gymnastics.
Athletics. I think Gemma. He's different enough.
Yeah, it's just, I know. Don't worry. I mean, he almost joined the ukulele class.
I would have beaten him up.
So I would have beat him up, and I was the one running the class.
Well, it's entrapment, isn't it? Oh, so everyone's come here to learn ukulele. Yes, sir.
Just like,
Well,
just 10 guys appear, pick each child up by the ankle and start dunking them in the toilets.
That's what you get for wanting to play the ukulele.
Learn a guitar. It's too big for my arms. Grow faster.
Jingle bells, jingle.
in the true spirit of Christmas, an
Don't
entire
get in the
class of
toilet.
children being essentially assaulted by grown men.
Oh man. He moved to my stocking, which is always furthest to the right, even though I'm the middle child. He began rummaging through his sack.
Oh,
sorry,
I
that is-
say.
I'm the
That's
only one who
just
giggles.
me.
I'm the only one who giggled that
That's
he
just
moved to my
me.
stocking, but everybody else fucking.
Look,
I'm
alright.
immature for that, but the rest of you guys,
Alright,
I'm gonna have to stifle a laugh at sack.
sorry, but I mean it's a hilarious word. It's bullshit. He began rummaging through his sack as I leaned forward excitedly to see what presents I was getting. I really am struggling with that sentence. Holy shit.
Wow, I had a big load of presents.
He reached down,
Couldn't wait to deposit
firmly gripped his dick and ejaculated into my stocking. I was very confused by this, but he had a big throbbing sack. There.
It was,
But at your
it was almost full to bursting with
Apparently,
presents.
apparently it's not out of Toby's system. So.
No. Right, I'll do this sentence and then you can do that. Santa pulled out a large jet black piece of coal. Coal, guys! Coal!
Pulled out a large chap.
and
He knew me so well.
and stuffed it into my
It was
stocking.
ribbed for my pleasure.
Did you say stuffed it?
Yeah, he stuffed it into his stocking, yeah. I felt a wave of anger, sadness, and regrets all at once. I almost stood up right then to tell off the jolly old elf. But then when he turned around, I saw tears in his eyes. He looked as if he was filled with similar emotions as I was. Like he didn't like to have to give bad kids coal. And it was for this reason that I remained quiet as Santa climbed back up my chimney, got into his sleigh.
Gemma,
and flew
for God's
away.
sake, if you're just going to sit there and giggle at everything, go upstairs and play with Logan.
No, I'm just.
I went into the kitchen. Went in. Kitchen. That's where women belong.
Sorry, I just got my head's in that place.
I watched out my downstairs window as a sleigh flew from the roof and into the
Okay,
black
I
abyss.
heard as a slave.
So,
That's absolutely what I heard.
A slave.
so
flew
Pete
to
was
the
there.
I watched out my downstairs window as the sleigh flew from the
So
roof
his slave carrying him.
and into the black abyss of Christmas night.
I sat,
Sorry.
I sat there, still in place for a very long time, pondering how I could still be a better child next
Right,
year.
go upstairs right now. Ask Logan if he knows what the word fucking pondering is.
When I spotted
I will
something out, right, I spotted something out of the window again. It looked like the same figure I'd seen before, but this time the sleigh looked as if it was black.
Oh, here he comes.
I wrote this off as it was really dark outside, except for the moon's red glow. What? I wondered why Santa would come back. Maybe he forgot something. Maybe he made a mistake. Maybe I wasn't naughty. And he was on his way back right now to fix his mistake. My mind was racing from one thought to another as I began to hype myself up for all possible Christmas presents. I'd stopped watching the window and had begun to daydream about the next morning until hooves on the roof interrupted my thoughts. Till the patrol interrupted my thoughts. I heard loud, heavy clacking, this time as he got closer to the chimney. Ash began to fall down the chimney, creating an ashy cloud around the fireplace, as what I assumed to be Santa began coming down and landed with a loud crash. My final thought before seeing what came next was, how has no one noticed all of this? Through the cloud of thick black ash protruded two large horns with stripes of red and white like those of candy canes. As the dust settled,
Well, that's really unintimidating.
I was
Isn't it?
saying that's really not very scary.
the rest of the figure was revealed. His skin was pale, His skin was a pale, icy-looking blue. His beard was like Santa's, except it was black and came to a point, and nothing like Santa's. His nose,
So they were made of hair.
Yeah.
his nose was long, and his face looked grizzled, but more human than I thought. His horns. Then you thought what? His horns looked like they'd touch the ceiling if he jumped. His body looked human in shape, but animal in appearance. His legs were twisted and ended in hooves, like that of a cow/bull. He had a long tail. His torso was contorted, and everything but his face and palms was covered in fur.
Oh,
Just look over it, it's just like me with a roast dinner.
can I have the last crispy roll?
Yes, you may. Jacob's had like 8 of them.
How was it? Oh,
8 million.
I mean two, but he had broken chains around his wrist and what looked like a heavy red Christmas ornament attached to his tail by another chain. Utterly terrifying. His ears were pointed, and so were his yellow teeth. Despite his horrid, outlandish appearance, the most noticeable things about the creature were its bells that it wore, and the basket on its back that had the limp arm of a child hanging from it. Okay,
Dead children!
the stories were true, and so is Krampus. He moved around the room with such speed that I was caught off guard.
wasn't it that one?
I couldn't believe my eyes. I had seen sleighs go by, magic reindeer fly overhead, and had even seen Santa Claus himself. But none of that could have prepared me for the beast that is Krampus. He moved around the room.
He just seemed like, he's talking like, oh yeah, I'm really worldly. I've seen all sorts of magical things 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Oh god, I've seen Krampus. Oh god, I'm so terrified because I've seen Krampus. And I'm now equally more terrified because I've seen Krampus. That was literally that sentence. I did not need to be there.
He moved around the room with such speed that I was caught off guard. This thing looked about 8 feet tall without its horns. With them, he towered
How tall are your ceilings,
over
mate?
everything in our large home. He made his way to the fireplace and took the coal from Levi's stocking. He rolled it around his long bony fingers for a moment, then took the coal from Garrett's stocking, then finally mine. He studied the coal for a moment. A wide smile full of pointy yellow teeth beamed across his face.
Naughty little children.
I heard it say in a cold, raspy voice. A shiver ran up my spine as it spoke.
I was paralysed, both in fear and awe at
And
the
arousal.
creature and arousal. For
Let's
fuck's
get gut.
sake. I was paralysed both in fear and awe at the creature that roamed in my living room beneath me. I thought he was moving towards a tree, but he walked past it and started going down into the hallway, into Levi's and Garrett's room.
Dun dun dun!
To Levi's jeans.
Yeah. I remembered the things my father used to say about it. That he whips.
I see.
That he whips bad kids, takes them away, sometimes eats them, sometimes he shakes them. So,
Well, that's significantly less.
That's a bit.
Like, what are you gonna do with your life?
Tell me where the bomb is!
It's like that's a bit of a jump up, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
so-
like, I'm gonna eat all.
Yeah, so like, it's more like
And then
he's
eats 2 kids, grabs a third, kid's like pissing and shitting everywhere, utterly terrified. Krampus is like shakes him, tickles him with a feather duster,
It's like shakes him. Stay in school.
chases him around,
forcibly ruffles his hair.
chases him around the living room playing "Hit Me with the Best Shot" by Pat Benatar on the ukulele. Kid doesn't got a fucking clue what's going on.
Then Krampus goes off to his class to learn more about ukulele, and he gets beaten up by the teacher. Gets his head stick down the toilet. That's why he's the Krampus, because he decided to play Luke. Oh my god, Logan is the Krampus.
Sometimes he shakes them and scares them into being good. Right. Okay. Still though, it's a bit of a step down. from
Yeah, I was
kids,
gonna say
isn't it?
like much a de-escalation of like eating children.
all
like,
these horrid,
two's, enough
all
for
these
me.
horrid thoughts, and one which isn't that quite that bad, but still. and more danced through my head as the monster creeped into the twins' room. I tried to scream with all my might, but no sound would escape my mouth. I have no mouth, and I must scream. As I finally was able to choke out, Levi Garrett! Screams had already filled their room.
What?
I don't know. Levi came out running out of his room, screaming his head off as... Oh!
Screaming his head
Sorry,
off.
yeah.
It's not like you
screaming
paused.
with his head off on
Yeah.
his fault. I'm fucking tired today. Levi came running out of his room, screaming his head off as Garrett followed suit. The creature's long twisted arm reached out from the room and grabbed Garrett's leg, pulling him back into the room. I stood up from my spot on the stairs and motioned for Levi to come with me, because fuck Garrett, he's gone.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah.
Well, because he needs to say Levi so he can be in charge of the server calls.
Garrett, sorry, can I just pause? What sort of fucking name is Garrett?
I was thinking that.
Garrot.
Garrett's more of a
Barrett.
last name.
Yeah. Garrett's screams fell silent. The Krampus emerged from the room alone. His nose seemed shorter now. His face even more deformed now. Why? I gripped Levi's hand tightly as we ran for Brad's room. I waited on its door again and again. Oh, I wailed on his door again and again, but he wouldn't come out. I would have tried harder to get his attention, but I could hear it coming up the stairs, and as each hoof hit each step. I took Levi to the laundry room, and I told him to hide in the laundry room. Once
In the washing machine.
Prophecy, yeah. Once I was inside, I began lowering the laundry hamper so we could get downstairs without confronting the monster. Before he was lowered out of sight, I told Levi to start the hot cocoa maker because I had a
Is
plan.
this just like, is this literally just Home Alone, just with a monster?
Yeah. He nodded, and once he got out to the bottom, he nodded down. Once he got to the bottom, I felt the hamper get lighter as he climbed out. I heard the hoofed footsteps getting louder and closer to the laundry room. I began pulling the laundry hamper and climbed in just as the door violently was flung open, despite the locks on it. How many times do you want to say laundry in this sentence, by the way?
Laundry.
Laundry. Laundry Hepburn.
Donkey scrotum.
The beast The beast licked his lips with his long, skinny tongue as he approached my trembling body inside the hamper. Okay, come on.
This is going...
Okay, come on. I began to bounce myself and
up and down and his...
and rock the hamper as Krampus got closer and closer. The hamper wouldn't fall no matter how hard I rocked it. And the creature was nearly upon me. I felt its breath on me as it excitedly panted, getting further.
Please just murder it. Please be murder.
I expected its breath to be hot like that of a dog's, but instead it felt like the coldest winter chill caressing my skin. I shook the whole...
He held me tight.
Yeah.
I knew he wouldn't let go. In his big, strong arms.
I shook the whole hamper as savagely as I could before it finally budged. The hamper fell, and before I knew it, I was on the first floor. I crawled out of the chute and ran to the kitchen as the demon rampaged upstairs. As I came into the kitchen, I noticed no signs of my little brother, but I did see that the hot cocoa maker was on. The stomping of the creature upstairs continued, but didn't seem to be near the stairs, so I focused on finding Levi. He wasn't hiding in any cabinets, and he wasn't anywhere in the living room. I decided that he might be in his room, so I quietly creeped to it slowly, but steadily. The twins' room was trashed entirely, and Levi wasn't there. There was blood on the wall. I shuddered to think that it once belonged to my baby brother. A small, bloody handprint was smeared on the wall by a door. Dread was all I could feel at that moment. Dread for misbehaving all year. Dread for what I'd become of my little brother. And dread for the silence that fell in place of hooves stomping around upstairs. Judge Dredd.
Yep. That would be awesome if Judge Dredd came in
Yes.
today.
You betray the law.
You betray the Christmas!
There's like raw.
The law of Christmas.
I know this is sort of a bit early to do this because it might turn out to be a dream or some sort of doctor, but do you think it's like really weird that like be good, you know, like you say like be good or you know, in England it's like oh Father Christmas won't be in your presence, and in America it's be good or you get coal. But like it is like
In Germany, be good or die.
yeah, be good, like be good, don't be naughty, or you deserve fucking death. Like, so there's a supernatural being that will go around and murder children for misbehaving, but it, like you know, but other murderers or rapists or other terrible crimes someone could commit. Nope.
No, it'll be fine.
It's
fine.
fine.
Right. Don't worry about that.
Jacob, you want to chime in on this or just keep playing Snapchat?
I'm not on Snapchat.
Twitter.
Yeah, it's
Fucking-
entirely different.
Stop looking up, I don't know, bird porn.
I was just looking at dicks.
I quickly and silently made my way back to the kitchen and took out a large coffee pitcher of scalding hot cocoa. As I kept out of the kitchen into the living room, I had an ominous feeling of dread. Again,
Did you?
the dread.
7-year-old man.
Pardon?
He said, did you, 7-year-old man, have an ominous...
As if I was being watched. I could barely see the dark of the night and I couldn't locate our light switches. The only source of light I had was the dim, eerie glow of lights from the Christmas tree. As I scanned all the entrances to the dining room, something moving caught my eye. The chandelier started swinging, as if something had bumped it or hit it. There was a soft thudding that accompanied the squeaking of the rocking Corona as I looked around to make another vague shape.
Rocking Corona, something else a 7-year-old
In the
say.
glow Christmas lights, I saw what bumped the chandelier. 7 years old.
Right, pass this over back to Jacob.